Josh, when you go to a store, do you need any help typically?
No, typically I don't need any help. Typically I just look around.
You just look around? Well, I'm sorry to say this, but a store in SF, one that's been there for hundreds of years at this point,
Oh wow, that's
over 100 years,
oh wow, that's even more impressive.
is saying that no, you cannot be allowed to shop on your own.
Hmm. I wonder. I wonder why that is.
I feel like most people know. So this store is in located in the heart of SF, and they were facing constant like retail crime or theft, and now they have installed or instituted a new
Policy?
policy
Yeah.
to escort every single one of the customers to find what they need. It's
Uh,
1-to-1, like you ever need like a butler, or maybe not a butler, but like a concierge, they're there to help you there.
um,
You go to Home
that
Depot
is.
and it's like, the instant you go into Home Depot, bam, he's right there. What do you need?
I wouldn't like that.
You wouldn't like that?
Personally, I wouldn't like that. When you mentioned in San Francisco, I knew that there's obviously a other reason why that might happen.
Ulterior motive, yeah.
Ulterior motive. There's a lot of retail theft that does happen in San Francisco, unfortunately. So it's understandable why this would happen.
But I do think this is the natural course of where things are headed in terms of the ramping up between like retail thieves and store owners, because they can't just keep, especially with a smaller store, they can't just keep losing items. They're not a big like chain, so they can't just be losing money all the time. And there is additional information to come out as well. But first, consider hitting that subscribe button. We come out with interesting videos like this one daily. So if you like interesting topics like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So the crazy thing is that once you enter the store, immediately, without question, is a table that blocks you. You cannot enter the store. There's a person
No.
in front that you have to queue up. Basically, there's a table. A person comes in. They're like, "Oh, I want to go get something." They're like, "Okay, I'll help you." Then the person goes, or the employee follows you to, or it shows you where the thing is, grabs it for you, and or like, "Oh, I need to look for a certain screw," and they're like, "Okay, I'll take you to the screw aisle." Or the or light bulbs. And I need to go find light bulbs. And like, okay, what do you need? It's like, oh, I need to see which ones are there. I want to look around. And it's like, okay, they'll
Hmm.
follow you there, and then they're like, okay, here they are.
Yeah, it's not a
Don't
good.
take anything.
It's not a good shopping experience if I have to say so, because the thing is, like, for me personally, and I think a lot of other people, they just want to be left alone. They just want to find what they're looking for. Extra help is always appreciated if you do need it, and being able to find it, but it's just having someone there is like, yeah.
I don't know. So this is effectively the way that these businesses are going. Like when I say like businesses overall, I think of the larger like Home Depot, Lowe's. I think they're trying to go in that direction because they're saying that like Home Depot and Lowe's, they're saying that they're able to have less theft because there's so many people walking around.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
there's
I
like
could see
more
that.
people watching, so there's like less opportunities for them to steal something. But I do think that this might be the like obvious evolution for small owners, where they're gonna have to just follow you around effectively, because there's other options as well, like in terms of dissuading people from stealing, which are sad. But I mean, like, would you rather walk around a store but everything's locked up, or have everything out but someone needs to like follow you?
I would rather. The thing is, and it's really hard. It's really
It's
hard.
one of the other, I guess.
Yeah, it is one or the other, because the thing is that you, at the end of the day, you are either going to do one of two things. Like you mentioned, you're either going to lock your stuff up, or you're just going to have someone come and take it. And the thing is that when someone takes it, when someone starts like vandalizing your store, does a bunch of other stuff, the thing is that you're gonna have to file an insurance claim. I remember seeing a conversation with the business owner. This was granted, this was in Oakland, where things that he had were stolen. He had to file an insurance claim, and then essentially he was on the hook for a lot of that happened. Unfortunately, even after an insurance claim that happened, but it's a retail crime is really big. It does really hurt small businesses. It's unfortunate that it's come to something like this because it does ruin the shopping experience.
Yeah. So they thought that this would be the better alternative. So the store owner mentioned that they wanted to keep the aesthetic of a regular store without having to lock everything up. Because like as you did say, like it once you lock everything up, it doesn't look appropriate anymore. It doesn't look like a normal store. But this is like their way of, or having people, not steal their stuff. Is that extra step. Like, are you more likely to steal something if someone's walking around or stopping you?
Yeah.
And the other issue is that, or the other anecdotal evidence is that this apparently has already stopped some people from stealing from there because of the added presence of someone or the table in front.
Yeah.
Because apparently someone was like walking up and then they walked in with their bicycle and they saw that there was a table blocking the way with a person behind it, and they're like, okay, and then they just walked out and then kept going.
Yeah, that's
very suspicious.
Yeah, that is very suspicious, because if you were an actual like patron, like someone that would buy from that store, you would just say, "Hey, can I leave my bicycle here while I pick something up?" And then they would escort you and do what they need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. In addition, they also have a policy: you can't take a backpack in. You have to check in your backpack. So you're gonna walk in, or check in your backpack, and then someone's gonna follow you to wherever you need to be or go, and then watch you pick out what you need or look at stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There are other things. Like, I mean, in some other places, it is part of the experience that a person or employee will assist you in like getting different items. Like if you go to like the jewelry section, obviously there'd be someone there to like help you look at watches, necklaces, rings, etc. And they'll kind of guide you through it, or help you. Or if you're in like an expensive suit place, they'll go and like, hey, what are you looking for? And they'll go and kind of tailor your experience to that. In one aspect, it's more of a luxury experience because you have one-on-one access to the store owner or employee. But on the flip side, if it's like in this example, a hardware store or like a general store, that typically doesn't go hand in hand with a tailored experience.
Yeah. And it's harder for small businesses. So it's understandable why things like this would happen, and why they would go to these lengths to do it. Because you think about it now, and even like large retailers, like you mentioned, like Home Depot are taking steps to fight the retail theft, because they have things that cost like hundreds to thousands of dollars that people were stealing.
Yeah, any type of like gardening equipment or drills, or
yeah.
You go into the drill aisle, it's like
everything's
security cameras. It's locked down like Fort Knox.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they have people walking around there constantly to make sure that you don't steal, which increases, like you mentioned, increases the presence, increases it decreases the likeliness of someone that's going to be stealing. It's just unfortunate the way things have been turning out, especially recently with the amount of retail theft that's happening, especially within like San Francisco and Oakland.
Yeah, so my thoughts are there's going to be like different ways of how this is going to get handled. I think either all the things are going to get locked up, like the Walgreens and other places where this like locked up, even the frozen food section, they locked it up. So it's either going to be like that, or they're going to have it where only a certain number of people can go in at a time and they need to be followed around. Or I think it's going to end up being that you have to go order online and you just look at the part and then you just go have a pickup. So they just go up to the destination and then they just grab, or like the person will meet at the front and then hand you the things you need.
Hmm.
and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. It's an unfortunate
Yeah.
way that things have been turning out. But yeah, and now it's just like mitigating. Yeah, like you mentioned, it's mitigating how the crime is going to be done.
Yeah, so I'm interested to know what other places have decided to do, because I know like this is the last thing is that any type of like security measure like the like security tags or anything else, they don't really work because everybody can kind of get around it.
Yeah.
So the industry, I think, is going to continue going to various directions to combat this, and this is just one way, and we'll continue to look at more additional ways that people are combating this besides locking things up. So if you want to stay on this journey, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join us. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that this is too far, this is too much, or do you side with the owner and saying, this is just the cost of doing business? You have to, it'll take longer, but then you'll make the money back by not having your stuff stolen.